Okay, welcome back to another version, the second version of our tutorial. So we are talking about the balance of 50,000. So we can see here we have a balance of 50,000. So this balance will be a what? The net after this, after deducting withdrawal from your what? Your deposit. So this balances will be our net. So you can see if the question says what is the total savings of all customers, so which amount are you going to select? Are you going to select this 100,000 or you are going to select what? 50,000. So obviously it's 50,000 because that's the total savings. If somebody asks what is the Ibrahim's total savings, are you going to say Ibrahim's total savings 100,000 after Ibrahim made a withdrawal? No. So it means like Ibrahim's total savings currently is 50,000. Therefore, we cannot use what? Our total savings as deposit, because if you use this as deposit, you are overstating your accounts, isn't it? Whilst Ibrahim made a withdrawal, so the net is what we are going to select. Okay, so that's what I want to explain. So we can move to question number one. I think we can now answer question number one. The total savings. What is the total savings? So I'm going to say select. Okay, we have a customer here, and now which column do we want? We need balance. Okay, balance. We need balance column. Okay, and then that is this balance, and then what row do you think is supposed to be under balance? So when you talk about row or information, it simply means under this column what type of information is given that's supposed to be under this balance. So we know that balance always is talking about monetary term. So in the question, did they give us anything that is in the form of monetary, like the balance is 50,000 or 100,000 or something like that? No. So it means that the balance is not given to us. So here there's no balance given, none. So as I mentioned this earlier, whenever you have a column that doesn't have any information, bring the columns at the beginning before your tables. So I'm going to say select. Since the question is asking what is the total savings, to know the total savings, we are going to use sum function. It's an SQL function. So we are going to say select sum of the what? Now, what are you summing? Is the balance amount, okay? Sum of the balance. Sum of the balance, okay? Now, when you sum this, you want to give a name to this amount, because when you sum this, for example, if the balance is 50,000, it will be written on the top of this balance here, or it will be like this: balance equals to 50,000. So anyone that comes will know that this balance is 50,000. That's why we are saying as something. So as what? Total savings. I'm going to say is as total savings. So you can see, if I do something like this, this will be like this amount will be total savings. 50,000 will be represented as the total savings. Okay, but if I don't put anything here, this one will be like EXPR001 50,000. So you will not know what this total savings is actual about. Do you understand? Okay, so you can see I use underscore also here. Underscore, if you have two words that you know that they are not the same words, to make it one word you use underscore, or you remove space. So you don't use space, huh? Good. Now let's continue. Select sum of the balance as the total savings. From where are you selecting this information? From customer. Because of what? The balance is found on the which table? Customer table. And then you write your what? Semicolon. Are you understand? Without your this semicolon also, it's not going to run. So you say this, select sum of the balance as total saving from customer. So it will bring all the what? The balances of the customers. Okay? The total balance of the what? Customers. So that's question number one. Let's go to question two. What is the total savings of all male customers? So what is the difference between question one and question two is that in question two, we are dealing with male customers. So here, something is specified. So when the question says male customers, okay, still now we are dealing with that customer table, isn't it? Because all the entire table, all the information is talking about customer. Now, what column do we need? Do we still need balance or we don't need balance? Let's see. What is the total savings? So we know the balance is talking about total savings, so we still need the what? Balance. So of male customer is another key point. So this male, what does it mean? Let's see here under the customer table, which column do we think suitable for what? Male. We have customer ID, no. C name, no. Last name, no. Gender. Can you see? Gender is talking about male or female. So it means that this question is talking about what? Male customer. So we have balance, comma, we have gender. Okay. Now under the balance, did they give us any information under the balance? No, they don't give any figure like 100,000 or 50,000 like the balance amount. But what of gender? Yes, this is what the gender is what? Male. Can you see? This is what? Of all male customers. So gender is what? Male. Okay, now we understand the question. So this is brief explanation about the question. Now we can write our SQL statement. So we are going to say select. Always we use select when you want to retrieve information from your table. So we select. Okay, so look at the column now. Are there any column that doesn't have information? Yes, balance. So bring at the first. We're going to say sum of what? So I'm going to copy and paste this. Okay, since it is already here, we have sum of the balance. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here to save time. So sum of the balance. Okay, I need to copy this too. Okay, as total savings. How to get they are all the same because I'm saying what? Select sum of the balance as total savings, which is already here. Now where am I selecting this information from? From customer table. So basically also this one's also I can copy this and paste it here because I'm selecting from the same table from customer. Now the question for us says the gender must be male, isn't it? So I'm going to write a condition. So where is also an SQL command which it is used when you want to bring a condition. So where what gender is equals to what? Gender equals to male. Okay, so this is supposed to be under what? Quotation, because of what? Male is what? A character or a string. So therefore in SQL, when you are writing your row, when it is in the form of character or a letter or let's say a letter or a string, you put in quotation, okay? So that it can be recognized by SQL. And then your semicolon. So select sum of the balance as total same from customer where gender equals to what? Male. Are we together? Now let's go to question number 3. Question number 3, what is the total savings of all female customers at Latrikunda branch? So let's try to look at here. Question number 1 and question number 2, what is the difference? Question number 3 is talking about female customers, while question number 2 is talking about what? Male customers. So here, our gender will be what? Female instead of male. And look at here, at Latrikunda branch. So we know that Latrikunda is an address. But which address? This is branch address. So not customer address, but branch address. So therefore, we need information from both the tables. That is what? Branch table and what? Customer table. So in this case, we are dealing with what? 2 tables. And when you are dealing with 2 tables, some of the things you have to keep in mind is that whenever you are dealing with 2 tables, number 1, okay, know that you are dealing with relational database. And when you are dealing with relational database, meaning like you have a relationship that exists within 2 or more tables, then you need inner join. Okay, since we need information from both the branch table and the customer table, we need inner join to link what? The relationship between these 2 tables. Okay, and secondly, you look at the columns that does not have information you bring at the beginning. Do you understand? That's what you do. Okay, now let's look at these conditions here. Let me so here we have customer already, we also have branch because we are dealing with 2 tables in this question. And now let's look at the columns that we need under the customer. The customer, what is the total savings? Okay, we need the balance. Okay, and do we need gender under the customer? Yes, because this is what? The female customer, so we need gender. And what do we need under the branch table? Latrikunda, which Latrikunda is a branch. Sorry, Latrikunda is an address. So we need what? Under the branch table, look at here, we have address, isn't it? So this address we need here under the branch table, address. Okay, now under the balance here, what information is supposed to be under the balance? Like something in the form of monetary term, but we don't have anything like that in the question, so it's not. What of gender? Gender now it says what? Is female, not male. Okay, male, a female. So now what of address? Address of the branch is what? Latrikunda. Can you see? Now we have what? diagnosed, or we have explained the question in just a brief summary. You can see here this the entire detail about the question. Now we can write our SQL statement. We can say what select. Okay, so since the question is the sum of the balance, the total savings, so we need something like this. I will copy this to save time. So select sum of the balance as total savings, and now we need inner join here because we are dealing with two tables. You can remember our previous lessons. We are talking about inner join, isn't it? So now to join these two tables, we need what? Primary key and foreign key. That is the importance of what these two keys. Primary key and foreign key are used to what? Create a relationship between two or more tables. So I'm going to say select sum of the balance as total savings from which table? From customer. Inner join. You can see inner join is an SQL command to join the two tables. Inner join what? Branch. Okay, inner join branch on. So on is an SQL command also. On customer dot. So what is the primary key of the customer? It's customer ID, isn't it? Customer ID. Customer ID. So I'm going to make this customer here capitalized because you can see in the question it is capitalized. So you have to write it the same way. So we have here customer ID. You can see here is what capitalized, and also you have to capitalize. So customer ID, which equals to what? Branch. So remember we says we need what? Primary key and foreign key. So this is our primary key from customer table. Now why is the foreign key under the branch? So we are going to use this customer ID, not this branch ID. We says what relationship is created with the use of what? Primary key and the foreign key. So here they must be the branch dot what? Customer ID. So the customer ID is the foreign key, customer ID. You can see customer ID here, customer ID here. This is the primary key and this is the foreign key. So this is the relationship. Okay, actually this is the relationship. Now let's further continue. The question further says the gender must be what? Female, and the address of the branch is Latrikunda. So I'm going to bring my where condition. Where what? Gender. Where gender is equals to female, and female is a character. It must be in what? Quotation. Okay. It must be in what? Quotation, so that it can be recognized by SQL. Sorry, quotation. Is that all? No, but the address, because you can say and. You see, and is also an SQL command. I put in capital letter. I mentioned this all SQL commands are capitalized. So anything that you see I'm capitalizing here is an SQL command. And what? Branch. Okay, you can see, and branch address must be what? Latrikunda. So I'm going to use branch dot address. So it means what? I'm specific here about the address. So we know that we have here address, we also have here address, we also here have address. So if I only says an address equals to Latrikunda, what do you think will happen? It will not be specific to the branch. It can give me the address of the customer. It can give me the address of the staff. You understand? So to be more specific, you can bring the name of the table, that is the branch table. You say dot what? Address. So this one is specific to the address of the branch. So the address of the branch equals to what? Latrikunda. So Latrikunda is a character or a string. We are going to put in quotation. Latrikunda. And then you bring your what? Semicolon. So that is the end of the question number 3. I think it's very easy, right? So let's talk about question number 4. Question number 4 says, what is the total savings of all customers for the first quarter of the year? For the first quarter of the year. So look at this. What is the total savings? It's talking about the balance. We already have that of all customers. So it means that we are dealing with customer table. Okay. For the first quarter of the year. Now for the first quarter of the year is talking about what? Date. So let's look at it. The first quarter of the year is what? The first 3 months. The first 3 months makes one quarter. January, February, and March. So 31st of March is the what? End of what? First quarter. Are we together? So let's look at here. We have customer, but we don't have any information regarding to the branch table. We have the total savings. That's talking about the balance. Okay. Do we have anything like address? No. But we need what?